Hello, she's Trixie, and I'm Sarah, and this is our Yarn World, a place where we come to share the love of yarn crafts and all that it gives us and what we hope it gives you. We're on episode 210 today, and we are regrettably in snow again.
It's not as bad as other people have. We only have an inch.
Yeah, my neighbor said that places like Rhode Island got like 32, 36 inches. New York got 24 in 24 hours.
People are without power. It's really bad. I guess. Oh, now I can't think of it. Central Park in New York is covered in snow now. People are out there skiing to work. Using their skis.
Oh my god.
So, yeah.
That's insane.
So, well, we had a week, and during that week was my 30th anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Yes. So, my husband gave me a heart, and you're not going to be able to read what it says, so I'm going to read it to you.
We could put some white behind it.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm going to read it to them.
Okay.
There are two cardinals on there. I like cardinals. But it says 30 years of marriage, 360 months of hugs, 1,565 weeks of happiness, 10,958 days of together, 262,992 hours of love, one blessed family, countless happy memories, a never-ending love story. Happy 30th anniversary. That is a surprise for me because he and I usually just would go away for the weekend. We would go and maybe antiquing or thrift shopping or just getting away. We haven't been able to do that in probably about 5 years now or whatever.
It's been a minute.
He's gotten a different job. It's not easy to get away now as it was before. We could just ask for the time off, but now it's not that easy. And so when he got me that, I was very surprised. Now, on our 10th anniversary, he was in Iraq fighting as a firefighter over there. He was over there for 17 months. So he missed our 10th. He didn't even remember our 20th. So to say I'm surprised that I got this for our 30th is an understatement. I was blown away. So that's a big surprise, and I was really happy about it. So, and I finished the blanket. It's off the hook, and it's just a single strand, double crochet, 5mm hook.
That had to be odd for you.
It is. It's not as heavy. But it is really, really kind of pretty. I have some variegated in there, so a lot of the colors that I have with this are from when we went to Joann's and did that final haul. Mm-hmm. And so I just had balls and I just put them in. And so I have...
This is so pretty.
And I did 101 for the chain, so when you come back it's 100. And it's just a nice lap blanket for someone who just wants to put something over their lap during these cold, cozy days. So, what have you been up to?
Well, like I said last week, I'm wanting to do more things where it's more, I still want to make like the toys or make the like, I want to make more 3D things, but I'm trying to do more using different ways than just the traditional amigurumi style.
Yeah.
And I saw something that I was really inspired by, but I didn't have the right color to be able to do it. Hopefully next week I'll be able to show you what I'm talking about. I told her.
Yeah.
She laughed, so that's a good thing. But the one thing I will say is that I found a lot of things that uses yarn in interesting ways, uses fabric in interesting ways to create different things, and I'm hoping to be able to kind of explore said avenue. But yesterday I wanted to get something done. I wanted to be able to show off something, and so I found something on Pinterest and I attempted it. I'm not going to say that it was perfect because it's not perfect.
He's
but
a little cutie.
He's
a little cutie.
I made a little pom-pom bird, and it's based on how you fold the yarn, pin the yarn, make the poofy little butt feathers, and
he looks like a little bluebird.
And I just end up making a little beak out of some felt.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And I swear, I think it's going to be fleece, and I'm like, I know it's not that. And then safety eyes, I kind of like tied them in, but then I kind of try to use some sort of like glue to keep them in there. But yeah, I just, he's such a chunker. And I don't know, I just tried something. I made sure my kids didn't see it because I knew they wouldn't let me get it this far. But yeah, for a first attempt, it's not bad. But I know I can do better, and I want to try this little medium where I'm using yarn in a little bit less crochet and knitting method. I want to try see what else I can do with it.
Yeah.
And I feel like I used to do this sort of stuff when I was a kid, because I remember making like yarn people when I would just cut out certain strands and then tie them in certain ways to make people, and I used to bring them to school.
Yep.
But this, he's a chunker. He chunky. And I don't know, I just think he's kind of cute.
He is.
And I'm just trying new things, and I'm just saying what I can do and what dimensions. Yarn just being laid in certain ways and put into certain different, tied in certain directions, what that looks like and how that can be, because I was seeing people use their pom-pom makers, but the way that they laid the yarn in the pom-pom before they opened it up, once they started cutting it, would puff out to cheetah patterns and different things in the pom-pom, and I was just like, how'd they do that? And like I said, I'm just very interested to see kind of this different medium using the same material, but just trying something different.
Yeah.
I'm exploring. But yeah, this is a little thing I made. And
so fun. So fun. I love it. But I love bluebirds anyway. We have bluebird houses on our property. So.
I didn't intend for him to be a bluebird. I just got the 3 colors because you need 3 colors to make it. And I chose 3 opposing colors that I had. So,
awesome.
Yep. I know that this
would work good for fish too.
I know. I was thinking about that sort of thing where it making like one of those like those betta fish with the really pretty tails. Yeah. I don't know. I just think it's a cool project. I think it'd be fun to do with the kids because it just requires laying the yarn in certain ways and then tying it and making maybe like a family craft day with that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
So yeah, but you can find these sort of patterns on Pinterest. I'll see if I can kind of share it using a link, but I don't know. In reality, just writing down pom-pom projects is, I think, really all that I did, and I found it. So,
okay.
But I can see if I can find it for you guys. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just in this need to try just something a little different and trying to find different ways to do little different. And I don't know.
Fun. So, I don't know. It seems like this one's going to be a really, really short video.
It might be.
But So we do have a quote here that we discussed beforehand, and it's so good. You can make your world so much larger simply by acknowledging everyone else's. And that was said by Marie Laskas, Laskas. You can make your world so much larger simply by acknowledging everyone else's. I think that's the most unselfish thing that I've ever heard in a quote, is just to make sure that your world isn't so large that all you can see is the end of your nose. Or you gotta look at everybody else's worlds too.
Well, no, it's not that. Don't make your world so small that you think that it's the only thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can make your world so much
larger by having more perspective.
Yeah.
You make your world smaller by not having...
When you see everybody else's worlds, you can make yours so much grander. It's like reading a book.
Yes.
You can read this book, and all of a sudden your mind is expanding to, oh wow, different lands and different creatures and
different
experiences, and going and doing these things with the characters in the book. You never would have even known about any of it had you not opened that book. Made your world larger, right?
I think the thing with me about this quote is two things. I have my idea as to this quote and my idea as to what you just said. I once watched a video a long time ago that talked about how if you make... A lot of people have like about 5 slots for how they're able to divvy out their time to people, right? Normally you have the family where it's like, okay, this encompasses maybe home life or even just external family, just some sort of space for what you consider family. And then you have normally friends and different categories, whether it be work friends, school friends, it's just any sort of category, right? You have these slots, but normally you talk to about 5 people regularly, this study had said, right?
Yep.
About on a regular basis, there are 5 people that you genuinely talk to. If you choose to have a 6th one, they said, try to make it a book. Reason why? A book can make the whole world a friend because you're giving the opportunity to hear someone teach you something, learn something new, understand a different way about how the world works that you might not realize because of where you're at or what you've been taught or just the limitations that we just have in this world, right? We can't be everywhere. We can't see everything. And the fact that empathy is something that in some ways it doesn't feel like it needs to be taught, but in a lot of ways it does. It's a practice, right? Because it's a choice. It's a choice to be able to say, I want to understand.
Yeah.
Your experiences, what you're feeling. And that requires compassion. That requires curiosity. It requires being willing to be present. And I think a lot of times people are so caught up with feeling like they have to be right. There can't be any other thing. There can't be any other way. There can't be any other... because it disrupts the peace.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that everything has to be a disruption. But what I'm saying is that your life experience is not the only life experience. And sometimes just taking the time, whether it be a book about something you might not have picked up any other way, listening to a documentary, listening to a podcast, listening to some music you normally wouldn't, or just there's so many things that recently I've been learning just from random mediums where I just take the time to just give it a moment before I switch off.
Yeah.
We're in such a fast-paced world where if we don't get satisfaction instantaneously, we can scroll to the next thing, or we can turn it off and find something else, or we can throw something in the microwave, or we can like the practice to choose not to pause or not to scroll and give a minute to just listen is something that I still have to do intentionally.
Yeah.
Sometimes. But I've been trying to. And sometimes my biggest thing is finding ways to do it that work, right? Like sometimes I'll look at how long the video is and be like, okay, I can handle 3 minutes. I can handle 10 minutes. Okay, but I'm starting to get overstimulated because I really don't want to be doing this, but I'm learning something.
Exactly.
And it's stretching me in a good way. It's giving me something to learn how to question, learn how to look at through a different lens, and sometimes that isn't easy. It's like practicing a new skill. It's like working out. It's not gonna always feel good, but but the burn is part of the journey, right? That's the same thing when we're learning something in our brain. And something I've been doing is if I don't want to look at the video, I'll even just close my eyes and listen.
Yeah.
So that it causes me to have to focus, because sometimes I still have to make myself listen, because even my natural instinct is to want to be comforted. I don't want to always learn. And it's not saying that you're not allowed to have boundaries. Sometimes the timing isn't the right time. Save the video, make a little note to yourself, be like, hey, I want to look into this.
Yeah.
I have never heard of this historical event before. I have never heard of this phenomenon before. I had never heard of this artistic expression or whatever. Like, it doesn't have to be something big. Find a medium that you like it to be. This doesn't have to be political or religious or anything. Like I said, I'm learning how to make my crafting fun by learning different ways of making it work, making it happen. My kids would benefit from this because the patience of being able to sit down and doing a stitch can be really hard. Whereas getting them to wrap yarn around like a book, and then we're going to snip it right here. We're going to lay all the strands out evenly. We're going to do that again, and we're going to do that again until we have all enough. Then we're going to line them up and tie them in certain ways so that they can line up. And then we need to cut out the pom-poms so that it looks all even. Then we can stick some eyes in, glue them in, put a beak on, and it's all done. It requires being able to look at things a different way.
Yeah.
It's not that they don't like yarn crafting. It's that they can't do it the same way that you can. Sometimes it just but sometimes it just requires that ability to think. My nose is running. Give me a second. I don't want you to see my nose running. I have a tissue in my purse. I'm just trying to be. But I saw a video even, and it was just this short-sightedness, right? And I think that this is going to even be very interesting, right? Is that there was a video of this guy, and you could see that he had this device, it's a little circular device that he put on top of like a bottle that had not been cracked open yet. When he put it on, he was able to press a button on top, and the gadget would twist the bottle cap off.
Oh.
And then he was able to lift it off and be able to drink it. The video was stitched by a guy who, not thinking, was like, how is this that hard? And just untwisted a bottle he was holding. And it was then stitched by another person who had to be like, you do realize that some people don't have the motor strength?
Yeah.
Some people can't twist. Some people don't have that capability. Some people lose that function, or maybe they're born with the lack of being able to do that, and that device gives them independence.
Yes.
Like, And those are small things that to us are like, hey, we can just crack a bottle open.
Yeah.
But that was like life-changing to that person just because it's one more thing that they don't have to ask help for.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
and that person had very specific things on their fingers. Like it was some sort of wrap, I think, that indicated the lack of mobility that they had.
Yeah.
It was a very specific thing, but the other person that had stitched it had not even taken the time to even think about it before they made such an arrogant response to that video, right? And instead of taking a minute longer to process, that person just was like, okay, this is just stupid because if I can do it, then
Yeah.
our life experience doesn't equal the whole world's experiences. And we can become a better human being and a better person to this world and a better neighbor and a better friend and a better just a better civilian of the world, not just the United States, a better civilian to the whole entire world if we process the little things that we can do that set up our brothers and sisters up for success.
Yes.
And sometimes that just means, hey, what does it mean? Because them being able to see what it takes for you to be able to function and us being able to see what it takes for them to be able to function, it's such an easy exchange. If you just take a little bit to take the time to even just shut your eyes and listen to a video and just be able to hear what they're saying.
Yes.
Even if it's hard and and you're just you're fighting yourself to be like, I just want to watch something funny, or I just want to watch something like this or something easy. Sometimes it's okay to grow. Yeah. Feel that burn to listen. It's not always easy, but I know that some neighbor down the road is going to appreciate that you took the time.
Yeah.
So again, you can make your world so much larger simply by acknowledging everyone else's. By Marie Laskas. Laskas. So we'll have the person's name and the quote down below. You can tell us how to say it if if you're better at it. I sincerely, Grandma Millie knew how to pronounce last names so well. We had a family member, long since passed at this point, but if we didn't know how to pronounce a name, we could just show it to her and she would just be able to know. And I think it's just because of something she studied.
She wrote to people all over the world.
Yes, and that was kind of like her missionary work. She had conversations with people and she learned how they thought, their cultures, their religions, their things, and then she would share hers and they would share theirs. Yeah. And it was something that she ended up learning.
She was pen pals with people all over the world.
But if you didn't know how to say something, or she would be able to tell you where in the world that would have been from. Yep. Why it was like that, how to pronounce it. I wish I had that, because Lord knows that is the most anxiety-inducing thing. If you don't know how to read a regular word, that can just be funny and silly. You can just laugh it off and just ask someone's help. But when you don't know how to say their name, you're sitting there being like, it's not because I don't care. I genuinely don't know. And that's even something where you can just be humble enough to be like, I don't want to be disrespectful. Can you please teach me how to say your name correctly? Even that can just be it's hard, it's uncomfortable, but it's good to do.
Or the opposite coin, or the opposite side of the coin. You can say my last name, but you aren't going to be able to spell it.
Oh my.
I always have to spell it because it does not have a C or a Z in it. It just has S's.
Even though I have been married out of the family name, we still have that with ours.
Yeah.
Because people will, instead of you doing a U, they'll do an A.
Yeah.
Or an E. Or they'll put like only one T at the end. Or they'll do a double T with an E.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just like... And so half the time, like with the kids, when I'm teaching them their rhythm, I'm like doing it at a beat so that they can do it.
Yeah. They can do it for other people.
So yeah, I don't know. But yeah. I don't know. I just know it's one of those simple things where I learned later in life than I wish I had that asking the question is not what makes you dumb. It's assuming that you know, and assuming that your comfort to be perceived as already knowing was more important than asking the question.
Right. Right. Yep, don't assume you know anything.
And a simple way of doing the exercise, especially if you're in a very serious situation, is just say, even just saying something like, assume I don't know anything. Tell it to me like I'm 5 years old. And seriously, making the person who's trying to explain it be able to have to think, okay, how would I explain this in simple terms?
Yeah.
Is okay. And it's not making them have to do more work. If they understand what they're teaching you, that they can figure out a better way of saying it for you if it's not clicking in your brain. But finding a way of being like, okay, treat me like I'm 5. I don't really understand what you're saying, but I want to. And it's like, it's okay. That's smarter than just acting like you know and going on with this conversation for a half hour and then them being like, so what do you think about it? And you're like, oh, I wasn't actually listening. Yeah. It's so disrespectful.
Yeah.
So
my stepson, when he was young, I was going to make pancakes. And he said he knew how. So I asked him, how do you make pancakes? Mm-hmm. And he didn't know the first step. And I said, this is a life lesson right here. Never tell people that you know how to do something unless you really do. Mm-hmm. Because they may call you on it like I just did. And he remembered that for the rest of his life.
Well, the thing is that now he challenged himself on cooking.
Yeah. He can cook now, but always make sure that you know. Don't always just assume that you know, because if you do, someone may call you out on it, and then you're gonna regret saying that you did. So don't do that. But if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Comment. We love your comments, and subscribe. Tell your friends.
And, we've been thinking, we have noticed that a lot of times you guys like videos that end up being more tutorial based or more like showing off bigger projects of ours.
Or smaller ones, like the dishcloths that I made.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a reality to the fact that if you would like us to start doing a mini series where maybe like once a month we do more of like a tutorial style video.
Yeah, we could try
on
that.
Things that we make regularly on our channel or that we tend to lean towards, like one of my mom's scrappy blankets or a toy that I have regularly made or something like that, or something like a seasonal project. Let us know. Because we would be more than happy to start doing videos like that.
Yeah.
That would be no problem.
We will learn.
Yes. So, as always, we thank you for joining us today. And until next time, we hope that you stitch your way
to mental health.